Again, I'm not going to be doing shots that are like cutting through, or I'm not going to edit my videos basically. So it's just going to be one shot. I just wanted to do checkup, and so recently I got a job taking care of two girls, and it's gonna be a 9 to 5 job, a 9 to 5 schedule. So Monday through Friday, so it's full time. Uh, I've never had a full time job, so it's gonna be pretty interesting. I've always had it's kind of embarrassing to mention, but like the hours that I would work every week, it would seem that I was pretty busy, but it was just smack dab in the middle. It'd be like 4 hours, sometimes 5, sometimes 3.5. I've worked at Ross, Charlie's, at a mall, Francesca's, Forever 21. I've worked with kids with autism. I've worked many jobs, but none of them were ever consistent. So this should be interesting, and I'm feeling kind of nervous because I know I'm so used to waking up, working out, working on myself, and I realize that I really do, like, for me to be like a functioning, happy, content person, I do have to work at it. Like every day sometimes there are days where I don't think about it and it's pretty easy, but I have to check in with myself. I need to be like mindful of my thoughts. I need to my life is always fluctuating. I've moved plenty of times. I've never really had a consistent job. Something always happens, and especially in the past 2 years, I moved. I had some personal issues with relationship wise. I got a new job. Got 2 jobs, full time. I had my best friend passed away. And then before that, my grandma had passed away. And then I moved again. I went to London. And now I'm back. And yeah. But ever since I came out of high school, I've basically have been just kind of picking up jobs here and there. And I feel like finally I have a job where it's going to be consistent, and I now have a girlfriend and a group of friends that I cherish so much. I honestly admire all my friends. I love them so much, and they've all been a new part of my life in the past 2 years. When I went through like a huge downfall, I basically had like no friends. At least I felt comfortable enough, or I felt like I didn't have like a support system, and my only support system was my ex. And so that when she left to study abroad, I went into a depression, and it was like kind of like high functioning depression and extreme anxiety. And I've had anxiety ever since I was born, but it got really bad where I wanted to get medicated, and I was someone who wouldn't even take Tylenol, so that was a pretty big deal. And that really, tearing down everything that you've known gives you an opportunity to create yourself and to love yourself and to realize all the plants, all the dead plants that you've been watering, and the friends who are there or not there. And that's when I learned to like love my own solitude and to wake up every day. And I used to say my life is filled with abundance every day in every way. And I started reading. I started doing a lot of research. I started talking to people. I opened up my heart. I became less judgmental. I've created so many good relationships out of that downfall in my life. And I'm sorry, I kind of went through like kind of went off on a tangent, but yeah. So, but I still have to do that work. That sometimes that I'm doing well in life, and then sometimes you hit a wall and I realize that I forgot to check in with myself. And I think working out and eating well and seeing the people I love really helps me, and having like a full-time job kind of worries me that I'm not going to have time to just sit down and be with myself and wake up early in the morning to do my workouts, and having a balance of being with my girlfriend but also having time with my friends. But it should be fine for me to be a full-time student and then having 2 jobs, and then that was pretty difficult. But yeah, I think things are looking up, and I kind of wish I wasn't that worried about getting a job and everything. A couple weeks ago it was really affecting my attitude, and now that I have the job, it's like I should have just really appreciated that day instead of being upset about the situation I was in. But I did realize it always helps when you're in the midst of something or you feeling something, literally just like backing up and trying to like, in my head, I picture myself looking down at myself, worrying about things, and kind of taking a step back and calming myself and being kind to myself, and like things like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna check in and just see how that's gonna be. Yeah, I still didn't go over my London experience, but basically it was like really life-changing, and I loved it, and I met new people, and I became closer to who I am today, like more authentic, and everything that I talk about, everything that I like, my moral compass, like my values are to be kind and compassionate and loving and authentic. That is like a really big thing in my life, and yeah, to basically emanate all these things that I think what makes life better for me and other people too. I was going through, I have a notebook that when I was going through what I was going through, I have so many, like, this is filled with so much knowledge, and I went through so much with this notebook. It really, it's really kind of like my Bible, kind of. I mean, not my Bible, but like, this is just like something that like changed my life, and it was really refreshing to like just visit back and like read everything and see how far I've come. And so right now I'm actually typing it out, and I've only went through like 2 pages. Well, like I only saw like 2 pages in like little snippets that I have like cutouts, and it's like 5 pages on my laptop because I'm typing it. Yeah, I already said that because I'm typing it out. But yeah, it's really cool, like just reading everything step by step and seeing all these things that all these quotes and journaling that has really changed my life. It talks about like manifestation and the ego and what anxiety is, the law of attraction, it's about forgiving, healing, dealing with difficult emotions, anger. It's about just and I categorized everything. I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to categorize this. Yeah. And I also have stuff from when I did a retreat when I lived with monks for a couple days. They have like mantras or something, or yeah, mantras. And this is one of them. I have come to the frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. I possess tremendous power to make life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate or humor, hurt or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether crisis is escalated or de-escalated. And a person is humanized or dehumanized. If we treat people as they are, we make them worse. If we treat people as they ought to be, we help them become what they are capable of. That one wasn't from the retreat. I want to read the one that is from the retreat. Is this the one? Okay, this one's kind of longer, so I'm just gonna put the true happiness one. There's one about loving speech and deep listening. And then there's one that's called True Happiness. True Happiness. This one says, I am committed to practicing generosity in my thinking, speaking, and acting. I will share my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in need. I will practice loving deeply to see that the happiness and suffering others are not separated from my own happiness and suffering. That true happiness is not possible without understanding and compassion, and that running after wealth, fame, power, and can bring much suffering. I'm aware that happiness depends on my mental attitude and not an external condition, and that I can live happily in the present moment simply by remembering that I already have more than enough conditions to be happy. And then this is another one I really love. I am committed to cultivating loving speech and compassionate listening in order to relieve suffering and promote reconciliation and peace in myself and amongst other people. Knowing that words can create happiness or suffering, I am committed to speaking truthfully using words that inspire confidence, joy, and hope. When anger is manifesting in me, I am determined not to speak. I will practice mindful thinking, breathing in order to recognize and look deeply into my anger. I know that roots of anger can be found in my wrong perception and lack of understanding of the suffering in myself and in other people. I will speak and listen in a way that can help myself and other persons, to transform suffering and see the way out of a difficult situation. Before you speak, let your words pass 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Focus on the things you want instead of focusing on the things you don't want. What seeds should I water? Fear, anxiety, anger, love, hope, gratitude, kindness. How do you respond to your negative self-talk? Disempower these self-doubt thoughts. Basically, don't identify with the thoughts that are preventing you from progressing in life. Because a lot of times, there's so much going on in our brains and in our mind, and we like to think, maybe I should listen to these thoughts and try to understand them and alleviate them. And I used to think if I didn't listen to them and see what the problem was, then it would be me suppressing them. But so much of our self-talk is it's not us, it's our ego, it's our anxiety, and we identify with it, we make it real. And the thing is, whatever feeling and belief you put into, the more real it becomes. So a lot of times with anxiety, you think about all the things that you don't want to happen, and it's really difficult, but you need to shift your mind and think about the things that you do want in your life and feel it and try to believe it. And even, I always say this, like, even if you don't believe it, keep saying it, or oh my god, these flowers keep falling. Keep practicing it, because it's like a muscle. If you want to have a life filled with happiness, then you have to keep practicing. Form, like the way form follows well, the words that you say will form into, I don't know how to say it correctly, but yeah, basically whatever you practice, whatever you put your heart into, even if you have those self-doubts, even if you feel like you're even faking it, you need to keep pushing, you need to keep trying, because you will get to where you want to be, and it's not out of reach. Yeah. So just ask yourself like things like, what do you fill your thoughts with? Love, passion, optimism, negativity, hatred, gossip. You are in control of your thoughts, and watch your world, and every day life starts to change in a positive way. See and appreciate the small things. Choose kindness even if someone else doesn't. It might inspire them as well. I don't know if those weren't like my completely favorite ones, but self-love, breathing, never underestimate yourself, about the ego. So that was 16 minutes. That was not supposed to be 16 minutes. It's a really long thing. Yeah. The next time I go on here, I'll probably, honestly, I'm not gonna make a plan, because then I'm gonna think, oh, I told myself that I was supposed to do this. I'm not gonna do it. I want to go over like the key points, the key things in here that really did shift my brain and my mind, the way I think, shift my anxiety, my happiness, the way of living, the people that come into, like, it changed my world. The things that I gobbled up from either a TED Talk, a book, research, the books I have from school. I'm a sociology major, so a lot of times the things my professors say, I'll write it down. Yeah. So, but I think the most important thing is, if you feel like, you want to if you feel like you want to work on something, you should, usually people are put in a corner or put in a set of circumstances where they're going to push themselves, so they have to like basically be pushed off the cliff so they can actually learn how to like climb up, or you can read things and evolve and grow. But what I mean is, growth happens when you go through shit, basically. And some people, want to speed through that and read things and dodge them or whatever. But if you really want that, what I'm trying to say is that whatever you want to change in your life, you need to not just think logically about it. You're gonna have to feel it. You're gonna have to feel like resistance bands. Like, you're gonna have to feel some type of stretch. You're gonna have to feel some type of pressure for you to push yourself to where you want to be. And if you don't, and if your life is kind of smooth and there really isn't anything to like push yourself through, but you want to learn you want to learn growth or whatever, then you need to have emotion. Like, you're gonna have to feel the things that you're reading. You're not gonna just logically think about things, because when you're actually, put in that situation, then logically you're gonna know, but unconsciously it's not gonna like it's not gonna catch up with your logic. Your conscious and your unconscious are two different worlds. Basically, what you read consciously, you're gonna know. Unconsciously, it's gonna be difficult unless you have emotion. And why I say emotion, like having an emotion towards the things that you want to grow with, whether it's healing, anger issues, regret, self-doubt, if you want to practice self-love, these things. Emotion means energy and motion. I should have said that in the beginning. Energy and motion. So if you're thinking about something, it's just logic, you know? You're gonna have to actually feel it and actually try to believe it. And if you don't fucking believe it, then you just have to keep saying it to basically fake it till you make it, you know? But yeah, I think 20 minutes. A lot of this was a huge tangent. I stuttered. I'm not that comfortable in front of the camera. But yeah, that's what I have for right now.